Remember to like and subscribe. So you want to play college ball. That's awesome. But what are coaches really looking for during tryouts? We're going deep on this one, with insights from 5 Division I coaches. Different conferences, different styles. But some surprisingly similar perspectives on what makes a player stand out.
Yeah, it's fascinating how this article debunks the myth that it's all about highlight reel plays.
Yeah.
Some of the most important qualities are things every player can control, regardless of their natural talent.
Right. I was struck by how much emphasis the coaches put on things like toughness and competitiveness.
Yeah.
It almost felt like those were prerequisites, even more so than raw skill.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it. College basketball is a grind. Coaches need players who can handle the pressure, the competition, and the inevitable setbacks. They're not just looking for talent. They're looking for players who are going to battle every single possession.
Okay, so let's dive into the specifics. We've got 5 coaches, each giving us their take on what they look for in a potential recruit. This isn't just a list of buzzwords. The article actually breaks down what these qualities look like on the court.
That's key. Anyone can say they want a player with a good attitude, but how do you actually evaluate that during a game? That's where the real insights come in.
For example, this SEC coach talks about how tough it is to evaluate players during those short AAU tournaments. He says, so it's hit or miss. He's basically saying that a few good games don't tell the whole story.
Exactly. He's looking for consistency. Can you bring that same intensity and focus every single game? Are you making smart decisions under pressure? That's what separates the truly elite players from the rest.
And it's not just about individual performance either. Another coach talks about how a player reacts when things aren't going well. Are they sulking on the bench, or are they cheering on their teammates? That tells you a lot about their character and their leadership potential.
It's a subtle but incredibly important distinction. Coaches want players who are going to elevate the entire team, not bring everyone down with them. That kind of positive energy can be contagious.
So based on all these insights from the coaches, the article identifies 5 key qualities: toughness and competitiveness, skill set, attitude, basketball, IQ, and defense. Let's start with that first one, toughness and competitiveness. Why do you think this is so high on every coach's list?
I think it goes back to what we were talking about earlier. College basketball is a demanding sport, both physically and mentally. Coaches need players who are going to embrace that challenge, who are going to thrive in that environment.
And it's not just about being physically strong.
Right.
It's about having that mental toughness to push through fatigue, to overcome adversity, to never give up on a play.
Absolutely. It's about having that fire in your belly, that relentless pursuit of excellence. And that's something that can be developed regardless of your natural talent. It's a choice you make every time you step on the court.
So imagine you're a coach. Wouldn't you rather have a player who gives 110% effort all the time, even if their skills aren't quite as polished, than someone who's coasting on talent but doesn't have that same drive?
Yeah, it's not an either situation. Ideally, you want both. But you're right, that work ethic and that competitive spirit are incredibly valuable because those are the players who are going to continue to improve, who are going to push their teammates to be better.
Okay, next up is skill set. This one seems pretty obvious, right? You got to be able to dribble, shoot, pass.
Yeah.
But even here, there are nuances.
One coach highlighted the importance of versatility. You don't need to be a master of everything, but showing you can handle the ball under pressure, make a smart pass, or hit a clutch shot that makes you a valuable asset to any team.
It's like a Swiss Army knife of basketball skills. You're not just a one-trick pony.
Exactly. And another coach emphasized the little things, those fundamental skills that are often overlooked but are absolutely crucial for team success. Setting solid screens, boxing out for rebounds, making the extra pass.
These things don't always show up in the stat sheet, but coaches notice them. It's like the difference between being a talented musician and being a great band member.
That's a perfect analogy. You need both individual skill and the ability to contribute to the collective good.
Which brings us to the third quality, attitude. We touched on this earlier, but it's worth emphasizing. College coaches don't want players who bring negativity to the team.
They want players who are coachable, who are resilient, who are supportive of their teammates. And they want players who can handle criticism without getting defensive.
One coach talked about how he watches how players react after a mistake. Do they get flustered and start pointing fingers? Or do they own their error, learn from it, and move on?
That's such a great insight. It's not just about being a nice person. It's about having the maturity and the self-awareness to contribute positively to the team culture.
And again, this is something you can work on right now, regardless of your skill level. It's a conscious choice to be a positive force on and off the court. It's about being a good teammate, being someone who elevates the energy of the team, not drains it.
And that positive attitude can be a game changer. It can make the difference between a good team and a great team.
All right, let's break down some of these coaches' quotes to see how these 5 qualities play out in real-life scenarios.
Sounds good. Let's revisit that SEC coach who said it's hit or miss when evaluating players during those short AAU tournaments. He's talking about how difficult it can be to get a true sense of a player's consistency and decision-making under pressure when you're only seeing them play a handful of games.
Right, because the talent is concentrated on these loaded travel teams. But they might not have had much practice time together. So what's a coach to do?
They start looking for the players who consistently stand out. Even when their team might not be playing well as a unit, they're looking for glimpses of leadership, those moments where a player steps up and makes smart decisions under pressure.
And one of those standout qualities, as mentioned by one of the CAA coaches, is shooting. Why do you think that is?
Shooting is always valuable in basketball, but at the college level, it becomes even more crucial. The game is faster, the defenses are more sophisticated, and having a player who can consistently knock down shots opens up so many possibilities for the offense. It spaces the floor, creates driving lanes for teammates, and puts pressure on the defense.
So it's not just about having a pretty jump shot. It's about having a deep understanding of the game, knowing when to take the shot, when to pass, and how to make the most of your opportunities.
That's what separates good shooters from great shooters. And it ties back to that basketball IQ we were talking about earlier.
One quote that really stuck with me was from the Ivy League coach. He talked about passion and how important it is for players to truly hate losing, but not in a way that distracts from the team.
That's such a nuanced point, because competitiveness is important, but it needs to be channeled in a way that benefits the entire team. You don't want players who are throwing tantrums or getting down on themselves after every mistake.
You want players who are fired up to win, but who can also handle adversity and stay focused on the team goal, right?
Exactly. And this coach also mentioned the importance of multiple efforts. What do you think he meant by that?
To me, it means never giving up on a play. It's about boxing out for the rebound, even if you didn't get the initial block. It's about sprinting back on defense, even if you missed a shot on offense.
It's about having that relentless hustle, that never-say-die attitude that separates good players from great players.
All right, let's move on to the second CAA coach. He listed toughness as his top quality, but he specifically talked about loose balls and how a player reacts to being taken out of the game.
This tells me he's looking for players who are willing to sacrifice their bodies for the team, who are scrappy and relentless.
The players who aren't afraid to dive on the floor and battle for every possession, they're not just playing the game, they're living it.
And that kind of intensity can be contagious. It sets the tone for the entire team and shows the coach that you're truly committed to winning.
I love how these quotes give us a real glimpse into what coaches are looking for beyond the stat sheet. It's about those intangible qualities that can make or break a team.
Absolutely. And it's inspiring to think that these qualities are within reach for any player who's willing to put in the work.
So it's not about being born with a certain level of talent. It's about developing your skills, cultivating the right mindset, and approaching the game with passion and dedication.
Right. And that brings us to the final quote, which focuses on defense. This coach emphasized that the modern game requires players to be able to defend multiple positions and contribute on both ends of the court.
You can't just be one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Coaches need players who are versatile, adaptable, and willing to put in the effort on defense.
He's not just looking for offensive stars. He wants players who take pride in their defense, who understand positioning, and who have the hustle to shut down their opponents.
It's about having a complete game and a winning mentality.
And that's what separates good players from great players and great players from championship caliber players.
This breakdown has been incredible. It's like we're getting a peek behind the curtain, seeing the game through the eyes of these experienced coaches. And what's amazing is that these qualities are just as important for success in life as they are in basketball.
Absolutely. These are lessons that extend far beyond the court lessons about hard work, perseverance, resilience, and teamwork.
And that's what makes this deep dive so valuable. It's not just about getting recruited to play college ball. It's about developing the skills and the mindset that will help you succeed in any area of life.
Yeah. It's like we've cracked the code to what college coaches are really looking for. It's not about some secret formula. It's about these fundamental qualities that form the bedrock of a successful player, and honestly, a successful person.
Yeah, and what's so empowering is that these aren't things determined by genetics or luck. These are areas where you have the power to grow.
That's what I love about this article. It's not just for elite athletes. It's for anyone who wants to improve their game, no matter what level they're playing at.
Whether you're aiming for a college scholarship or just trying to make your high school team, these principles apply.
So let's bring it back to our listener. You're out there on the court. You're putting in the work. You're dreaming big. What's the one thing you want them to take away from this deep dive? I want them to understand that they have more control over their basketball destiny than they might realize. Um, it's not just about talent. It's about developing those intangible qualities that coaches crave. The toughness, the competitiveness, the positive attitude, the basketball IQ, the defensive intensity.
And these qualities, they don't just make you a better player. They make you a better teammate, a better leader, a better person.
That's the beauty of it. These lessons extend far beyond the basketball court. They can help you succeed in any area of life.
This deep dive has been eye-opening and inspiring. It's given us so much to think about in terms of what it really takes to succeed both on and off the court.
I agree. And I think this is just the beginning. There's always more to learn, more to explore, more to discover about this amazing game and about ourselves.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So to our listener, we challenge you. Take these insights, put them into practice, and see how they transform your game and your life. And remember to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of basketball and beyond.